Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining. We are just going to start in a minute or so. So if you would like to take this opportunity to introduce yourself in the chat box, just maybe your name, where you're joining us from, your college name. Good evening to everyone. Siddhima, you can put if you have any particular questions, use the chat box, please. Hello. Hi. We have from PSG. Okay, everybody's like, it's really scrolling down. So I think Hema, we're all over India. We have students from everywhere joining us. I think that's a great start. We have from Punjab, we have from IMT Ghaziabad as well. And I saw somebody from a lot of students from Mysore as well have joined us. Hello, Jammu. We have people from Jammu also. IFT Delhi. Hi, Lippy. Okay, in the interest of time, I think I will get started now. A very good evening to all of you and a big welcome. Thank you for joining us today. I am Pooja Kanwar. I will be your moderator this evening. I'm also a part of the corporate partnerships team here at Aspire for Her and lead the She-commerce community. Also joining me today are my colleagues from Aspire for Her, Preeti Bhaskaran. She's also part of the corporate partnerships team. Parisha, our operations manager. Ruchita Tandon, our chief growth officer. And our very own Madhura Das Gupta Sinha, the CEO and founder of Aspire for Her. And from Myntra, we have Hema Pachisia, who is the Senior Director, Human Capital, and Sarona Gagar, Manager, Human Capital. Without the passion of these two ladies, I don't think she-commerce would be at these heights which we are today, something that we will talk about during this session. So we're very excited about that. And also joining us today is Ms. Soma Pandey, who is a strategic HR visionary, a transformation leader. She's also a mentor with Aspire for Her. So she will be actually talking to you a lot of the corporate readiness, what are the do's and don'ts. So we are really excited for this new initiative and looking forward to a very engaging and insightful session. So before we start, a couple of housekeeping rules, since this is an online session, there may be a couple of glitches here and there. So, kindly bear with us. We'll try and fix it, or otherwise we'll have another backup plan. Use the chat box for your questions. I'm pretty sure all of you have a whole lot of questions for Hema and for Soma, but we'll take them at the end. So do park them in the chat box, or there's another Q&A button. You can park them, start parking them there as well. Keep yourself on mute. We will be speaking to you, or like we will have the opportunity to interact with you by the end of this session. And also do stay till the end of the session because we have, exciting news for you as well. One of the other factors is that we would like to, get to know a little bit of more of you to check who was joining with us today. So a small poll is what we're going to pull up right now. And if you could all take the time out to, complete this poll, it'll give us a sense of who all are joining us today. So we have three questions. You can just scroll up and down. I'll read it out for you. The first question is, which community do you belong to? So just select one, women in college, emerging professionals, return to work, women leaders, entrepreneurs, or others. The second question is the purpose that you are joining the She-commerce community today. Learning, upskilling, employment. Employment internships definitely looks like one of the most winning parameters right here. And the third question is, what do you hope to achieve from this session today? understanding corporate culture, enhancing communication skills, learning the work etiquettes, gaining insights into your career growth, or if anything else. So I'm just going to give it another 30 seconds. If anybody hasn't, if anybody is having any difficulties, yeah, you can use the chat box if you're not able to, fill it up here. So yeah, 90% of the community joining us today is from college, from the campus. And employment and internship is, I think, one of the factors that everybody is looking to join the ShE-commerce community. And definitely the endeavor is to, I would say, get you more than this with the when you join the ShE-commerce community. So I'm quickly going to end the poll. And I think why everyone is joining today is a good mix of understanding the corporate culture, enhancing communication skills, learning workplace etiquette, and gaining insights. So that is what the intention today is as well, to try and guide you on all of these parameters today, and how to make you more corporate ready when you are entering into a job. So I know that most of you do know us, do know what Aspire for Her does, but for many people, I would like to give a small introduction about Aspire for Her. At Aspire for Her, we have a vision of impacting 1 million women by 2025 and 10 million by 2030. And we aim to achieve this by enabling women with access to the 3 E's, like employment, entrepreneurship, education, which we achieve through mentorship, coaching, upskilling, reskilling, employment opportunities, career previews, and community support. Aspire for Her currently boasts of a community strength of 7.5 lakh members, keeping in mind that we are just going to complete 5 years. So we're very proud of the number and the community members that we have. And collectively, over these 5 years, we have built 24 communities, including ShE-commerce, which was launched in collaboration with Myntra last year. Here, I would like to invite Madhura Dasgupta Sinha, our CEO and founder, to talk about this collaboration and what we have aimed to achieve and what we have done in the past 1 year. Over to you, Madhura.
Thank you so much, Pooja. This is indeed an honor and privilege to actually share the platform with our wonderful partners, Myntra, here for what promises to be another very, very exciting launch and a very exciting initiative. I am overwhelmed by the response here with so many of you coming in and wanting to get a piece of the action of our ShE-commerce community. Myntra has been an absolutely amazing partner for us over the past year, and we are extremely proud of the work that we do with them, starting a completely new community of women who want to be in careers around e-commerce. Before this, most of our partnerships veered around finance and technology, and what Myntra did was to actually bring in a breath of fresh air to Aspire for Her. And seeing the kind of interest and the aspirations that our community members have, it makes us extremely excited, and we want to really do big things with all of you in this space, which in India will actually define and redefine the ways in which we shop and consume content. We've seen that Myntra has been extremely forward looking and coming up with the brightest of ideas and coming up with new formats of engagement. And every time they actually manage to surprise us with the new ideas. And that's the reason why we feel that even this, which is ShE-sparks, is going to be an absolutely outstanding initiative, which all of us will feel proud to be a part of. When we started the ShE-commerce community, we actually started with a returnship program, which is very aptly called Phoenix. And this is the third edition of Myntra's returnship program. And many women found internship opportunities and full-time employment thereafter in Myntra, which is an amazing organization to be in. We also work with the students, and we ensured that 6 students got an amazing opportunity to be a part, to spend a day in the life of Myntra, starting with a meeting with the CEO, and no less. And then actually walking through the portals of Myntra to find out how a Myntra employee really works, what they do, how they create new initiatives, how they create products, and how they actually work on the entire quagmire that is e-commerce. They actually demystified the entire e-commerce world for them. So on the heels of these fantastic other initiatives that we've had for ShE-commerce, we actually will invite Hema to talk about what's latest in Myntra. And Hema, we can't wait for this exciting announcement. So we would love to know what is latest in Myntra and what is ShE-sparks. So we are super excited to be a part of this, and we hope that all of you will get a chance to see the wonderful world that Myntra has created under ShE-commerce along with Aspire for Her. Thank you very much, and we look forward to a very, very exciting session. Thank you.
Thanks a lot, Madhura, and I hope everybody can hear me loud and clear. And first of all, my apologies. In spite of working for a tech company, my tech of my laptop isn't supporting me today. So the background is really not the background that everybody else has, but I think let me start with a lot of applause for the partnership between Aspire for Her and Myntra. When we started this last year, it was just an idea, and since then we have been able to convert a lot of ideas into execution, right? And we will talk a little bit about it. A lot of organizations have great ideas. What separates Myntra from the rest is a lot of our ideas to execution is the path, at the speed at which Myntra executes, I think is unparalleled, which is actually the way e-commerce generally works. So I'm just going to take the next. So I'll just briefly introduce myself. I am Hema. I lead a few HR functions in Myntra. I am the HRBP leader for non-tech, as well as I lead DNI, learning, talent, and OD. Have been for Myntra for a little less than 2 years, but one day in Myntra is equal to probably 1 month in other organizations. Having worked in very mature and structured organizations like Unilever, HSBC in the past, I can vouch for the speed at which we do things in Myntra. Around ShE-commerce, I am hoping that most of you who have joined the session today have attended some of our sessions in the past. Madhura already alluded to what ShE-commerce is about. So I'll just take first 5 minutes is just for everybody on the call to really know about Myntra. Okay, while I'm assuming everybody knows about Myntra. If in case you don't know, I'll still say we are in fact, we are the biggest fashion platform in India. What I'll actually talk to you about in the next few slides is why Myntra exists, right? What is that Myntra stands for, and how does ShE-commerce really tie back? You're continuously moving slides. Just go to the first slide. Okay, so if you go to the next slide. So our purpose of Myntra is really slide. No, purpose, Sonora. I'm sorry, the tech, I think I should get something is wrong. Bear with us for 5 seconds. Like I said, tech is not in my favor today. I'll share the screen, don't worry. Just give us 1 second. Okay. Is the screen visible? It is, right?
Yes, it is.
Cool. Okay. So I'll just quickly tell you guys, I mean, everybody knows Myntra is a fashion platform and we sell clothes. In fact, now we sell a lot more beyond clothes. But truly, the purpose of why Myntra as an organization exists is what I wanted to share with all of you. If you look at this very colorful, vibrant slides, this slide is actually all about why Myntra exists, right? Our purpose or the reason why Myntra as an organization exists is really inspiring vibrant and joyous self-expression by expanding fashion possibilities for India. I think clothes bring happiness, fashion brings happiness. It allows us to express ourselves truly and freely. So I think this is the reason why Myntra as an organization exists, right? We really believe in spreading joy, happiness, and vibrancy to every customer of Myntra who shops with us. So this is truly the reason as an organization we exist, and we think the work that we do on our platform is truly what helps us spread that to every customer who is actually shopping at Myntra. If you go to the, okay, I'm only sharing it. Uh, what you see in the screen now is our EVP statement. This is basically nothing. If most of you are here for internship, most of you want to work with Myntra. So this slide will actually tell you if and when you come and work for Myntra, this is what Myntra promises to every person who works at Myntra. We empower our employees to fashion the future. It's very simple, right? There's a lot of empowerment. There is fashion because we're a fashion company. It's all about future forward. It's all about pioneering the best in the industry. So for folks who works at Myntra, this is what binds us together. This is what gives us confidence. And this is why, as an organization, we are able to support our employees. Be the trend, be Myntra, right? I think if there's anything that is trending across the universe in the world of fashion, it is there on Myntra. That is why, we commit to our employees and to our customers. Anything that is trending, whether it is, clothes or even our policies, processes, ways of working, we are the ones who are setting the trends for the industry in general. So if you come and work for us, and I hope most of you will, what we promise you is that you will be empowered, you will be fashioning the future, you will be the trend, and you will be Myntra. I think these are the three things that really help us bring the organization together. So this is what we can commit to as an org. Like any organization, there are five things which are very important for us, right? Which is our values, which really binds us as an organization, which is very simple. It's the magic that happens at Myntra, and the magic happens through these five magic values. We make it happen. Okay, we aim high, we are audacious, we are bold. As a company, we are great together. Not everything that you see on the platform is a culmination of different teams coming together and making it happen for our customers. Integrity and always keeping customer first at the heart of everything we do. Whether it is our M Now, which is a 30 minutes delivery, whether it is Forward, which is a fast fashion for Myntra, all of these are great ideas which has been executed at speed thanks to the teams that come together and work. So for Myntra, our magic values are sacrosanct, and that is how we make things happen for our customer. And for our employees, and for those of you who work with us, what we assure our employees is that you will be paving the fashion, passion for fashion has to be there. We allow and encourage our employees to pave their way, how they want to shape their careers. And truly, as an organization, we are innovating things every day, whether it's on our processes, people, customer policies, and we're innovating to lead. We don't innovate to follow. So I think these are the things that as an organization, we are committing to our customers as well as to our employees. On ShE-commerce, I think Madhura really touched upon, but we thought we'll just share a quick video to just give you an idea of what ShE-commerce has done so far. I'll just play this video. Not audible.
Emma, you'll have to stop sharing and share with sound once.
Wait a second. Hopefully, this is exciting for all of you in terms of what the community offers to our, participants. Just one second. I'll just take the next 2 minutes to just introduce ShE-sparks to this community. ShE-sparks is our next initiative from ShE-commerce. This is a very exciting initiative where we will have multiple sessions for the participants of the community. They based on three key themes, very simple. We want our community to really be inspired. So there will be a bunch of leaders from the industry coming and speaking to you as a part of career journeys. We will also equip the community and the participants of ShE-sparks with life skills, behavioral skills, and things that really help you set up yourself for corporate life. And the third thing we'll try and do through this community and the session is give you some skills that are really going to help you as you start your journey. And all of those skills will be based on, some functional or technical thing. So this is how the entire design works. The expectation is very simple. You attend these sessions, you make time for it, you invest in your learning, and at the end of it, a bunch of you will get an opportunity to either visit Myntra for a day or get internship opportunities. It's a fairly simple construct. Attend sessions, learn, get certified, get an opportunity to intern with us, and come to our office. In terms of who are our target audience, everybody is our target audience, right? Whoever wants to learn, whoever wants to upskill, whoever wants to grow. So at the end of it, there's some exciting bunch of stuff available. Internships is, I think, an area of interest for a lot of you. Internships will vary depending on the program that you are coming from, depending on the background from where you're coming from. It will range from 2 to 6 months. There'll be a certificate of completion given to everybody, irrespective of whether you get an internship opportunity with us or not. And few of you will also get an opportunity to come to Myntra office and experience a day in the life of Myntra. So what does Myntra and Aspire for Her look from all of you is just make out time. We will ensure you have some exciting stuff coming your way. Make time, attend, ask questions, and learn through the process. And the idea is that hopefully we inspire some of you to continue to join the corporate workforce, whether you become an entrepreneur, whether you do service, whether you start something of your own, just come and work for India. I think that's the end of the day, the mission for Aspire for, the mission for this community. We want as many women to really join workforce. Hopefully through this journey that we have undertaken, we're able to inspire some of you on the call to really make that mark. Yeah. In the interest of time, we just wanted to share a glimpse of last time when we did a day in the life of Myntra, what truly people experience in Myntra office. And hopefully with this, we'll get a lot more registrations for this community. So let me start this.
What became clear to me is that I want to do e-commerce, I want to do consumer internet.
Make sure that it is search enabled. You type ARA and you get to see parachute pants, and social takes it on at the same time. So it has to be seamless, otherwise it will lead to a broken experience.
What if a consumer sitting in a tier 2, 3 wants to wear, but the aspiration is there, but the heavy on the pockets, right? So we introduce these brands in a lower AISP.
Which like the back-end technologies and the front-end technologies which you work with your team.
So we have all touch points from the business to product to platforms, then we stitch all the pieces together to set the roadmap for the technology.
Because if you do 6 months internship, the conversion is also very fast. So you've already been trained, and you are trained and you work with the 6 months. You also make a call, is this the culture which I want to work with? So it's an equal opportunity. That was the whole idea.
After all the talking that I did, I think I should have just played this video, and this would have been sufficient and enough to draw excitement into what you can expect Of course, in one day at Myntra, this is the experience. Imagine doing an internship in Myntra, just amplify it by 10 times more. But I am also very conscious of time. I think the idea was to really help this community and the initiative. I just wanted everybody on the call to understand that it's very important for Myntra to ensure that we as a leaders in this industry are able to inspire women to join the corporate workforce, use this opportunity, attend the sessions, ask questions, learn through the process, and hope to see many of you in our offices soon. With that, I'll hand over to Pooja for the next section.
Thank you very much, Hema. Uh, we truly resonate. I think we were fortunate enough to interact with the girls who were a part of the visit to the Myntra office, and we could, sense all the excitement that was there. So yeah, this is a big opportunity for anyone who is looking to make a space for themselves in the e-commerce, or are looking to gain some knowledge. So the entire intention, like Hema's rightly said, of the she-commerce community, and especially the ShE-sparks initiative that we have launched today, is to basically inspire, equip, and also educate all the college students, and to prepare you for a corporate world, not necessarily e-commerce, but to prepare you for the corporate world, because what is actually what we think in our mind and what is the actual reality on ground is different. So today's session, which is the first of the three sessions we're bringing to you, is basically how corporate ready are you? What are the expectations versus the reality? And we have today Soma Pandey joining us today, who, like I said, is a mentor with Aspire for her. She is also a HR transformation leader and a strategic visionary. Soma has an experience in the HR space for the past 25 years, and has driven large scale transformations, leadership development, and business aligned strategies. She has led workforce initiatives impacting 350,000 plus employees across global enterprises. So a whole lot of experience in this space. Most recently, she served as the global CHRO of Tredence Inc. So we are fortunate that Soma has decided to, is joining us today to talk to you about what are the do's and don'ts, and what are the things to keep in mind once you're entering the corporate world. So with this, I will hand over the session to Soma to guide all of you. Thank you. Soma, over to you.
Thank you, Pooja, and I'm so excited to be here. And people often ask me, why is it that I take interest in talking to college students? And my response always is that I'm a big follower of Warren Buffett, who's a big investor. And he has said that everybody will learn from their mistakes, but smart people learn from other people's mistakes. So I always share all the mistakes and missteps I might have in my career, so that everybody can learn and they don't have to go through the same mistakes again. But today we're not just going to focus on my mistakes. We're going to look at a little bit about my journey, and also understand what I have learned from it, and what learnings the students today on the call can take in order to have a more successful corporate career. So it is a huge jump. Let me start by acknowledging that when you move from a student life to a corporate life, it's a massive life transitioning. You have to start adulting. I know in college it already felt that you've left school and you've gone into college, so now you're an adult. But once you start earning your own money, and once you start being responsible for a lot of your actions, life changes quite a bit. And in that moment, to be ready and present and able to have a successful career, that requires some preparation. So I'm glad to welcome all the students today, and thank you for your interest in trying to build yourself up for your future and attending a session like this. So let me quickly jump into my slides. I'll give you a quick idea about my own life journey and my career journey, so that you can know where I'm coming from. And then we will talk a little bit about, what does it mean for you? What is the corporate landscape? What are the skills and qualities that will help you succeed in the corporate? You might be very successful students, but things have to shift a little bit so that you can succeed also in the corporate space. So we will talk a little bit about that. And then also try to understand that success and a long-term career takes time to build, and it's like a marathon. So how do we prepare for that? So we'll talk about all of that. Like we said at the beginning, we will take questions at the end. I had prepared about 40 minutes for my session. I will try and speed through it. You will find I'll cover many concepts in a high level, but I will leave you with a lot of resources that you can keep consulting at a later level, a later point in time, so that you can follow and dig deeper into some of the concepts that I'll be sharing today. So quickly, apart from the fact that I have been a CHRO for several small and medium-sized companies and work for very large companies, this is really who I am. I was born in Dehradun, which is in Uttarakhand. I grew up in Mumbai because my father had a job where he got posted in different schools. And then he came back to Dehradun, which is where I finished my school education. And at that time, I thought I wanted to be a doctor. But I didn't get through my medical entrance exams. So I went off to Varanasi to BHU to study BSc. And I studied chemistry graduation from Banaras Hindu University. And then because my father said that if you don't get through some other competitive exam, I will get you married. And I didn't want to get married. So I applied for XLRI because some of my friends were applying for it. I didn't know what an MBA was, but thankfully, by the peer pressure and peer guidance, I was able to get into XLRI Jamshedpur, which is a well-known school for HR and for business education. So I graduated from there. And then I got into my first job, which was in a factory in ITC Limited, and I was posted in Saharanpur. So in India, I have lived in Saharanpur, I've lived in Bangalore, I've grown up in Mumbai and Dehradun. And then I got married and my husband moved to Germany. So I've lived in Germany, in Munich, and I've lived in the UK. As far as my career is concerned, when I was in Germany, I had to take a career break, but I have worked in an FMCG, I have worked in IT services firms like Accenture, Cognizant, I have worked in HR services firms like Randstad, I have worked in a BPM, which is First Source, and then my last job was in the analytics space in Readiness. And now I'm doing this kind of work around consulting and advisory. I'm settled in Bangalore. I have 2 kids who have gone to college, so I have a lot of time on my hand. And this is who I am and how my career has fitted into my journey. But if I were to ask you to think about my career, you'd probably think, oh, she's so senior, she's had this great career graph. And yes, I wanted to have a career graph where I did hard work and I went straight to success. But the fact has been that careers are not a straight line. There's always been challenges, there's been some obstacles, there's been huge successes. But it's taken its time, it's taken a lot of resilience, it's taken flexibility on my part to succeed. So this is going to be the reality for most of us, right? So when you're coming into the career field and you're thinking about building your career and having a job, have realistic expectations. The reason I'm sharing this is that don't come in with rose-tinted glasses. Yes, you will succeed, but it is not just hard work which will help you succeed. So what is my reality? Like I told you, I wanted to be a doctor, but I am an HR professional. I wanted to work abroad. When I was finally I got into HR, I said, oh, it'll be nice to work abroad. But when I actually lived abroad, I couldn't work because I couldn't speak the language. So I had to take a career break. And it wasn't a small career break. It was a break for 5 years. Then when I started thinking about my life and my career, I thought I'll join one company like my father had, and I'll retire from the same company. But because of how my husband moved around and how my family needed and how my own career ambitions needed, I've had to change several jobs. And when I was younger, I thought success was about outshining my peers. Like, what's my batchmate doing? What's this guy doing? Who has got a promotion? And I have to beat everybody. But now I think it's more about, as I've aged, I think my success means I should be able to have time to have new experiences, learn new things and talk to new people. So things change. Career journeys are built of ups and downs. That's the background with which let's talk about some myths that at least I had. And when I talk to young people, I realize many of us have when we come into a job situation. So the first thing, like I already said, that many of us think that I'll land my dream job immediately. I want to work like I did. I want to be a doctor. Of course, I'll be a doctor. Some of you might think, okay, I want to work for this dream company. I will land that job immediately because I'm so good. I've got good grades. I've done good internships and I will get that job. But that may or may not happen, right? Careers take time to build. So when you're starting your first job, It is the beginning, and what you should look at from your first job is to gain the experience, build your skills, and start to explore what suits you, and also start to network with people. So don't look at success immediately. It may come, it may take some time to come. Then the second myth is that if I work hard, I will succeed. Yes.
Soma, can I interrupt you? Are you presenting? Because somebody just asked. They're not able to see the slides.
Oh,
Would you like me to present?
I am presenting.
I think it didn't share. Do you want me to go ahead? Okay, now it is.
Okay. Sorry about that.
Yeah.
We talked about technology malfunctions. So where am I? I'm here, right? Yeah. So you're seeing the myths and reality slides, right? So
Yeah.
hard work alone will not get you there. Of course, it's essential, but working smart and having strategic career moves also matter equally as compared to just working very hard. Another myth is that now college is over, let me throw away all my books, I'm done with studying, now I just have to earn big money and have a good time. Yes, you will earn big money, but learning has to continue. The reality is that your degree is just the first step, and you have to be a lifelong learner. You have to be adaptable. You have to be aware of the changes that are happening in the market and make sure that your learning gears are always functioning. And we talked about success as a straight line to the top. It may or may not be. Careers have ups and downs. There are setbacks, there are detours, there are failures, and that is all part of the journey, and you have to be prepared for the long term. And a high salary equals happiness. Yeah, of course, money can buy you a lot of things that give you happiness, but that may not always be a guarantee. So when you're building your career, when you're thinking about your dream job, think about other stuff like what is the kind of people you like to work with, what kind of brands you want to work with, what is the purpose you want to have in your life, and how you're going to balance all your different requirements around career as well as personal life. And also the rush, right? When we are 20, 25, we feel 30 is so old. And by 30, if I've not figured it out, then I have failed. No, you haven't. People keep making different moves and changes well into their 40s and 50s. And with things changing as fast as they are, I think as long as you can keep learning and keep reinventing yourself, you will never be irrelevant in the job market. But that doesn't mean I'm painting a bad picture for you. I'm putting it all out there so that now I can give you tools to manage all of these myths and realities, right? How do you equip yourself? Let's get you ready for the marathon. I want you to feel confident, to start to invest in yourself, to do deep dive into some of the stuff I will share with you today so that you are prepared for a much better future. So step 0, before you even take the first step, I think the first thing is to identify what do you value the most? What is important to you? What kind of a job you will thrive in? So identify your goal. And I'm sure in your colleges, you may have some career counselors, some coaches, some people who talk to you, and you're able to use various tools and methodologies to be able to find your values and your vision. But I would like to recommend these two books, which Ikigai I know is very popular already on social media, so many of you might have seen it, is that in order to lead a happy life, you have to do something that you love, but it also has to be something that earns you money so that you can afford the things in life. It has to have a social purpose, etc. So Ikigai is something. But the other book that I have personally found very, very useful is The Pathfinder by Nicholas Lohr. You can look it up on Google or Amazon. It has very nice exercises to help you decide what kind of a job will make you happy. So I would recommend that. So once you've identified your goal, obviously, if you decide that, okay, I have to now work in the corporate sector, then you have to start searching for a job. So for that, there's this book. Okay, sorry about that. The book called The 2-Hour Job Search. It is written by Steve Dalton. I've also linked a YouTube video here, in which the book is explained in a hour-long session. So you should try and watch this video when you have some time. The key takeaway from this is that you can actually find your dream job if you systematically follow these 7 steps. You don't have to leave it up to luck. you don't have to leave it up to a chance or anything, but that you can take control of your job search. And one of the first steps of the 7-step process is following the LAMP method, which is to create a list of all the companies that you might want to work with. And what Steve says is that you need to have a minimum of 40 companies on it, only then you have a chance to crack it. And I'm sure in today's day and age, many of you may have applied for hundreds of jobs if you're in final or semi-final years. And so this is not going to come as a surprise to you. So you have to research about your dream companies and look at their competitors, talk to your mentors, look in LinkedIn, all of that, and try to identify, pinpoint at least 40 companies that you want to work with. Then try and find somebody within those companies who will advocate for you. What does advocate mean? Means they will support you. They will use their powers, use their goodwill to try and help you get either an internship or a job. So that's what advocacy means. And second is, third, M stands for motivation. When you start applying for these companies, you may meet success, you may not meet success. So make in that list of 40, rank the companies from a priority basis of which is my dream company, that stays at the top. And why do I think it's my dream company? Basis that you rank all the others, and then you make a list of prioritizing the companies, and in terms of how motivated are you to work for them or to go and search for a job in them. And of course, once you join the company, you will be motivated to work, but how motivated are you to look for a job in that? And then finally, once you have that list, start tracking the job postings that they may have on LinkedIn or any other Naukri or any other portals that you follow. So the LAMP method, it's an easy acronym to remember, but this is not the only thing in the book. I thought I will highlight this to you to get you started, to get your brain ticking in terms of a very systematic way to find a job and to utilize all the resources that are available today to you in order to crack the thing. Okay, so now you have decided what kind of a job you want. You've shortlisted the companies and you've applied for a job. What happens next? How do you get the job you want? Many of what I'm telling you, if you do ChatGPT, it will tell you the same thing. But I think when I speak to it, I'm telling you from my experience of how I respond when I receive an application, how I respond when I meet somebody in an interview, or how I have seen recruiters respond when I have gone for interviews. So since you're here today, please do listen to what I'm saying and try to internalize this whole concept, and not just do it as, okay, yeah, she had said this, this, and this, but try to think about why I'm saying what I'm saying. So some of the tips around tracking the job is, whenever you're making an application to any company, tailor your resume to that company's job, right? So usually they will put a job description or the name of the job. Try and understand what skills you have that you can highlight in your resume so that it resonates with the job, right? The worst thing you can do is apply for Myntra and put Amazon name in it, that I really want to work for Amazon. So really read the application, read the covering letter, read your resume in a way that you're talking directly to that company in a way that resonates with them. They will say, okay, or they might be using a bot to shortlist your resume. So it should link in and have the key phrases that match your resume. Utilize LinkedIn, right? And what I mean is, as a student, start by following leaders or following leaders from the companies that you want to work for, following companies that you want to work for, so that you are aware of what's happening in the company. When you start connecting with people, do not send blank mailers that hoping that somebody will accept your connection request. You have to give some information as to why you want to connect with them, if you've heard them speak somewhere or anything like that. So use LinkedIn, but in a very smart way. Don't do mass applications that you same resume, you just tick on every box and just keep sending it. Apply strategically so that you're using your mind and you're identifying reasons and the key points that you want to tell to each company when you're doing the application. It's very important to do mock interviews. Why I'm saying that is, many of us as students, we are used to speaking in a certain way, but in order for us to communicate our our life story, our ambition, our skills in an interview context can be daunting. So please look for apps wherein you can record yourself and you can listen back to yourself and improve yourself, or tie up with a friend and you can take their interview and they can take your interview. But try and do a mock interview, because it helps for you to know where you get stuck and you can refine on that. Also try and request for referrals of your seniors who might be working in the same company, or some relative or friend who you know in your network. Do not be ashamed to look for referrals, because a recruiter finds it easier to work with a referral versus looking for a mass application that might have come. Of course, people get hired from mass application also, but if you have a referral, the chances are you will crack something easier. Then you've now cracked the job. Now you've joined the office. What happens next? Things will change. Like I was saying, this is a massive transition. This is one of the biggest transition that happens in life for all of us. We used to go to school where we paid money to attend it. Now we are being paid in order to show up, right? So it is a difference. And in school, you can just sit there, a teacher will teach you, you can make notes, but it is mostly passive learning. You're just receiving information. Now in a job, you have to use that information to start showing problem solving, because that is the expectation. If you just come in and keep waiting for people to tell you what to do, and then you do only that much work, and then you go home, and then you wonder why people don't appreciate you, or why someone else is moving up faster than you. The reason is because proactiveness is very, very important in the corporate sector compared to how it used to be in college. The other thing is that in a college, you're typically wanting to succeed yourself, right? In some colleges, of course, there is project work where you have part of your grade is linked to how a group performs, but usually it's individual work. In corporate, it's very rarely that you can be a sole, like a lone wolf, and succeed. You have to learn to collaborate. A team succeeds, and therefore how you work with other people, how you influence other people, how you listen to other people, how you follow, how you lead, both all of that becomes very, very important. Then you have, up until now, you had structured schedules. Yes, even in corporate, you would have some, time in, time out, all of that structured schedule, but you will largely be expected to take charge of your own time and to deliver on the outputs that you have promised. So from a structured schedule where someone else was telling you what time the class ends and what time the class starts and when the project is due and what the deadline is, now you will have to take some amount of autonomy and accountability on that. And also, you have to rewire your brain that just because you did a good job, you studied a syllabus, you went for the exam, you said the right answer, you will get a grade. And usually the grade will be directly proportional to the work that you did. That may not be the case in corporate, because in corporate, it's not just about all the actions that you did. It is also about the impact that that action created, right? So it's not just that I did this project, but did the project succeed? Did we get what we wanted? For example, in Myntra's case, did we increase our social media visibility? Did we increase the hits to our website? Did we increase sales? Did we reduce returns? All of those things will matter versus I did my job and now I am not responsible for what happens after that. The sooner you build that, it'll be better. But what doesn't change once you get into a job is you still need to have deep skills in whatever your functional or technical area is, right? There is no compromise on that. There are many people, many peers you have who are competing for a similar job. So that's a no-brainer. You have to be really good at the job that you do. So let's just recap what all the things we said. We said, A, you have to move from passive learning to proactive problem solving. How can you do that? You have to learn to take initiative. You have to focus on finding solutions, right? As young people, we are all used to some other adults being around and, we just tell them this is not working and somebody will take the initiative and get it fixed. But now you have to stop complaining and start looking for answers and solutions. Second is teamwork and collaboration instead of individual expertise. So you have to sharpen your communication skills. The first thing that happens when we start interacting with other people is we have to communicate our ideas. We have to convince them that what we are suggesting is a good thing. we have to listen to their ideas and try and evaluate them whether they have pros or cons. So having a very good communication skill is extremely important for corporate success. Right. So one of the things that I always refer people to is the pyramid principle of communication. So you can make a note of that, read up the article, you can Google it, pyramid principle of communication, of how to come across very effectively by stating what is the problem, what is the solution, and what's the impact going to be, in order to not waste other people's time and have the maximum people understanding and agreeing with you. And the second thing is, of course, you have to develop empathy and emotional intelligence. What that means is that you may have a great idea or you may have a problem, but the recipient on the other side should also be prepared to invest in that, right? So you have to be aware of who you're talking to and what they might be going through, so that you are more effective in your ability to teamwork and collaborate with them. Finally, we talked about, not finally, but one of the things we talked about is self-discipline and accountability, right? So punctuality, especially in freshers, is extremely important. It's one of the smallest things you can do to show that you're interested in a job. So when you turn up for your trainings or your inductions or any meetings, just make sure you're on time and learn to manage your time, right? How much time you're spending at work, how much time you're spending on social media, how much rest you're getting, what is the deadline for the work that you've been given. All those things you have to start to manage your time much more effectively than you might have done in college. Some people are good at it, some people are not so good at it, but it's very important that you start getting good at it at this point in time. And the other thing is accountability, right? Like I said, there is very rarely an occasion in companies where an individual can succeed on their own. Typically, what you do leads to somebody else's input, and then they have to do something, and then it leads to somebody else's input, and so on and so forth. So people are depending on you to do what you have said you will do. So the basic professional etiquette is that keep up with your promises. If you have said you will deliver something by 5 o'clock on a Tuesday, then do that on a 5 o'clock on a Tuesday. If you can't do it, then you have to call and inform and give adequate notice to people to start to be prepared for that point of failure. And finally, don't just look at your job description and just check in the box that, okay, I'm supposed to do these 3 things today. I've done it. Now my job is done. Ask questions as to, okay, I'm doing this 3 things. What happens because of that? Where does it end up? What is the long-term perspective that the company is taking? What is the strategic project that they're working on? So for that, you have to be aware of what are the organizational strategies. So all companies have a website. Go read what the website says. The CEOs will give interviews. Read the interviews. There might be press releases about the company. Read that, so that you know, okay, this is where the company is going, and what I'm doing is adding to that final outcome, and therefore my work is important, and therefore what I'm doing is I should do it in X or Y fashion, right? So try to focus on what meaningful contribution you're doing versus just doing your job. And we talked about technical skills, and this is something you will hear very often, that people are encouraging you to build a T-shaped skill matrix. What does that mean? It means that while you should have a breadth of experience, right? So for example, if you're a marketing professional, then you may have a breadth of experience and knowledge in marketing, but you should have depth in one particular skill within that. So for example, you should be a deep expert with lots of knowledge about the latest and the greatest, for example, in digital marketing. So you know marketing, but you very well, but you know digital marketing very, very well. So whether you're a software developer, whether you're an HR professional, whether you're in finance or whatever, think about what skills you have and how they map out. Do you know many things in order to succeed? But do you also know one thing very, very well, so that people can count on you as the expert? So apart from skills, something that really stands out is your behavior in the workplace, right? And I was talking about being an adult and coming across as a professional. So what are the behavioral shifts you might have to make, or what are the behaviors that work or don't work in an organization? So the first thing is that, you know, the feedback is not just a report card, right? Every day you talk to your boss, your peers, your team members, you will find that somebody will tell you something about what they liked or what they didn't like about your work. So you have to learn to accept feedback, right? Don't defend. You can listen to it, you can absorb it, and if you feel that it is unfair, you can reject it. But being defensive and not listening is not going to help you, because none of us knows everything, and it's important to listen out to the people who are observing you as an external party and telling you how you're coming across. So that's, I think, the biggest change that happens at home. Typically in our families, we don't have that much pressure to behave like, you're a child and everybody loves you and they excuse you. Then you go to college and you have your gang, and irrespective of what you do, somebody loves you. But at work, that may or may not happen. You need to learn to start accepting feedback. Second is that there is very little black and white. Yes, when you start off in your job, fresher jobs may be very clear cut that, okay, you have to start here, you have to end here, you have to do these 5 things and done. But over time, you will find that things begin to be more ambiguous and begin to change. And therefore, don't be very set in your mindset. You can't go in and say, okay, I want to build my career in finance, and I will just grow like this, like this, like this, and become the CFO. And that's what I'm doing, nothing else. I will not go right or left. I don't care what happens. Or you gave me this job description, it says 5 things. Now you're saying this 4th thing is not there and 3rd thing has changed. I can't do this. You have not given me the right job. Those things happen, right? The business realities keep changing and organizations are trying to find the best fit. So the ability to deal with change and flexibility, be flexible, is very, very important. And finally, learning mindset. Like I said, don't get stuck. Always keep learning. Keep reading what's happening in the markets, keep reading what's happening in the world, because, socioeconomic, geopolitical things, they all impact how business is done. So what's happening? What's the new thing that's coming in? What's my company doing? So keep learning and keep your mind open to listening to people who come from diverse backgrounds so that you're not getting stuck in one place. And then, because we said collaboration and teamwork is very important, it's important also to understand that how you interact with other people is going to play a huge part in your success in the long run. So you have to understand workplace dynamics and respect boundaries. They might sound like a very big words, but what it basically means is workplace dynamics is who is the boss, who is their manager, who is your peer, who works for which department, how does it all come together, who has what roles and responsibilities. You have to start to understand that. And respect boundaries. Boundaries are what, like, can I call you after 6 p.m., 10 p.m., can you call me? How many hours do you need for you to turn around what I'm asking you? Those kinds of things. What are the boundaries? And also in a relationship, right? Like what kind of informality, what kind of jokes people appreciate, what kind they don't appreciate. Those kinds of things you should start to be very mindful of in a professional context. Then I've already spoken about emotional intelligence, of being aware of other people and what their situation might be. Navigating difficult conversations, right? Like I said, there might be some tough feedback your boss gives you, how you respond to that. Or there might be some situation where you've not felt very good and you need to give feedback to somebody. How are you going to say it in a way that you get the outcome that you want versus, just putting people off? And then finally, as you grow, the people you have relationships with will also grow. So over time, you will find that your network grows and you help each other out as you're becoming more and more senior. So build strong and positive relationships with whoever you meet in a way that portrays you in a positive light, in a way that you are helpful to others, you're sincere, you're honest, and all of those good things that you can start to include in your relationships. I'm so sorry. My animations are all over the place. But after doing all of that also, things, like I said, may suddenly change. Some of it might be positive, that you may have unplanned opportunities will come your way, or you'll have great success. And that will happen if you keep embracing challenges, right? If someone throws something at you, instead of saying, no, that's not my job, you say, okay, let me try it. Then chances are, if you succeed, then you will have new opportunities open up. If you're well networked, if people know what you're good for, if people know what you want to do, those projects may come your way if you're networking really well. So networking I cannot overemphasize the importance of networking within organizations. And mentorship. Again, if there are three things I want to tell you about how you can succeed, it's network, find mentors, and embrace challenges. And mentors could be people within your team, it could be people outside your team, outside the organization, but anyone who you find things like in a way that you aspire to think, or they work in a way that is exciting for you, reach out to them and try to get them on your side. Similarly, there can be unexpected challenges and setbacks. For example, org changes, right? That the org has to pivot in a different direction because markets have changed, and that might lead to job changes. There may be an economic downturn, or in fact, you may have life situations come up where you need to take a different look at what you want to do with your job versus your family and your career goals, etc. So lots of things happen as time goes by, and the way to deal with all of this is that you build resilience. In that, they say it's not a sprint, it's a marathon. So in marathon, it is not just about the speed at which you can run, it is also about how long you can sustain, and how you get up once you have fallen and things like that. And that will happen if you have a very strong support system, and if you're practicing self-care, right? So these are all, again, things that you will find on the internet. You can research each of this, but spend some time with yourself. Be kind to yourself. Start to learn about what works for you, what doesn't work for you, and how you're going to be able to stay at your best. All right. And this one I specifically put in there, and Hema, I have to thank you for this because Hema and I were speaking about what are the things that young generation are struggling with. And I think it's social media. Please always remember that what happens on the reels versus what happens in real life is different. People might be projecting a lot of happy stuff on the net, but you have to run your own race. And as an American president, Theodore Roosevelt, said that comparison is the thief of joy. Live your life, run your race. Do not start comparing, oh, that fellow has become, DGM and I'm only manager, or they have bought a big car and I only still have a bike. It doesn't matter. Your criteria for success, their criteria for success, what they are doing versus what you're doing may be so different. It's about be better than yourself, be happy with yourself versus trying to emulate others. And whenever you feel low, rely on the network, on your self-work, etc., which I showed you in the previous slide. And even these communities that we are building, right? What Aspire for Her has built, this is a great place to network and lean on each other when times get tough and you're wondering if you're doing something wrong. So let's now quickly summarize what I've been telling you. Think of your career in 3 steps, right? There are short-term goals, which as of now, with your first job, it should be about gaining the best experience that you can, building the skills you can. It's an investment into yourself, and start to build your network. As you grow, then you have to start looking for, okay, how can I get promoted? How can I do this job? How can I get more responsibility? All of those things will come in. And over there, adaptability will be very key as to you keeping your mind open and jumping on responsibilities, learning more, etc. And finally, your long-term goals can be about, okay, so what am I going to do with my life? Am I happy? But if you have this picture in your mind, over time, you will be moving in a direction where you have got to some place that you wanted to get versus letting the tides take you wherever they go. I'm so sorry about this animation situation. So, key lessons to remember of all the talking that I have done. Careers evolve over time. You cannot rush success. So don't be disappointed. Don't be heartbroken. Be kind to yourself. Keep learning. Keep building. Keep growing. Develop valuable skills. So keep your eyes open as to what's the burning topic. Can I learn it? How can I show that I'm able to solve problems which other people cannot? Failure is part of the journey. There are many good quotes about failure, right? The people who see the records being broken don't see the 10,000 hours of work that went behind a person's success, right? Take care of your mental health. If you are well in mind and body, that's the only way you can actually continue to have a career. So please keep that in mind. Seek help if you need to. Have friends and family, have a support system, and Success is going to be yours, but you have to stay in the game. So don't give up. Don't leave the job. Don't leave the industry unless you're going to do something better. Stay there, and ultimately, you will get to the place that you're dreaming of. All right. And one of my favorite quotes, it always seems impossible unless you do it. So I hope that each of you are able to do it. You have all my best wishes for that. And I'm here to answer any questions today or ping me on LinkedIn with a reference to this session, and I'll be happy to connect with you and have a chat. Wish you all the very best.
Thank you so much, Soma. It was very insightful, and I can see like I'm having actually difficulty, like following with all the questions that are coming in.
Yes.
So I'm just going to generalize because I think the response is awesome. I would like to thank the entire community who's joined in here. It's a very enthusiastic bunch we have here with a lot of questions. But before going on to the Q&A, Hema, I would like to hand over the session to you. I think you had a couple of pointers to share as well. Over to you.
You'll have to just give me access. I'm not able to share the screen.
I'm trying
You
to.
have to stop sharing, Soma.
Yeah, I'm trying not to share. That's me. Have I stopped? No.
No. Yes, now you did.
Okay.
Yeah. Over to you, Hema.
Okay. Let me start with briefly. I mean, this is very important. For most of you, I saw comments. You follow Myntra, you shop for Myntra. So my request is for everybody out there, in addition to the information that you got in the session, there's a lot of exciting stuff that Myntra keeps sharing on LinkedIn. We have posted the link. Do follow Myntra's Instagram handle as well as Myntra's LinkedIn page. In fact, if you follow our Instagram handle, there is some pretty cool stuff happening on our handle. Myntra has turned 18 years old. So we are actually having a bash in Myntra office, and it's 18 and iconic, right? So that's the cool stuff that if you follow our pages, you'll get to see, in addition to all the serious and the quirky stuff that happens on our platform. From a workplace perspective, it's a very cool office and a place to be. So just take 10 seconds, and if you could follow us and also register yourself for the e-commerce community and follow our handles. I think, Soma, first of all, thank you so much. I think it was very inspiring, and some of the things that you shared, it doesn't matter at whatever stage of your life journey you are, whether you're starting your career, whether you are already, a mid-career professional, or somebody who wants to, just start something on their own. Everything that you shared was very practical, and it, also was something that I will have some takeaways to take, especially comparison is not going to help any of us in our career. So I think thanks for that. I just had a slide which I did not share initially, but I just thought, when I was preparing for this session, I was actually thinking, if I were one of them in the audience, right? What is something I would have actually, thought of somebody had told me when I was in college. So what I'm going to share is just 2 or 3 simple bullet points. And after that, I'll answer all the questions on internships. So I think very, very important. I mean, this is what, if I take a step back and I reflect on my career, right? And I think a lot of it, Suma, you have covered in some shape or form. First impressions really matter. Whatever anybody and everybody tells you in everything in life, right? Whether you are in attending a presentation in your college, where you're appearing for a job interview, whether you are, even in your personal life, right? Making friends, they matter, make it count. That's very, very important. And it includes everything from the preparation, right, ahead of a meeting to how you show up to how you present yourself. So I think first impressions matter, make it count. Communication and confidence, right? Uh, I have spent 15 years, in my professional life, and trust me, there are many meetings where I know I don't have strong content. Okay, I am just going and presenting something. But if you are communicating properly and if you're doing it with a sense of confidence, you would have won everybody in the room, even if you don't have solid content. Having said that, that doesn't mean content doesn't matter. Data is king. But what I'm trying to say is, in times, and especially if you're starting your careers, ensure you build some of these life skills, right? Because this is something that if you start practicing, rehearsing early on will help you. Data is everything, guys. I think the more as we move towards AI, etc., do not lose touch with data. especially in e-commerce companies, whether you're HR, whether you're finance, whether you're a business person, you need to know numbers at the tip of your hand. And I know a lot of us may not always be comfortable working with data. Since most of your students, please upskill yourself on data skills. If you have to opt for courses, if you have to do anything that makes data your best friend, please spend that extra time in college instead of watching Netflix or Amazon Prime, if at all you have that time, and make data your friend and have a growth mindset, right? Keep learning, keep reading. And that also demonstrate in your interviews, in your conversations, anything, right? Be curious. That's very, very important. Come prepared, but be relaxed. Whichever interviews you come, it's not the end of life. Like Soma, I also had a very difficult start. I was the first to be placed on campus and the first to resign from my job also and be jobless for a couple of months. So I think that happens to anyone and everyone, right? So just be relaxed. Life will throw different kind of situations, but always be prepared and ask questions. No question is a stupid question. Seek clarity and always ask for feedback. Whether you get through an interview process or not, just take that extra 5 minutes as ask the interviewer, after the obviously the decision is made, what you could have done better in that interview so that it helps you prepare for the next one. But this is just my five or whatever 6 bullet points. When I was preparing just 5 minutes before the session, I just jotted it because I thought I cannot have like young bunch of students coming in and me not giving. The HR in me did not allow me to let you go without sharing my little bit whatever pearls of wisdom. So I think that's pretty much about from the session. I just wanted to take a minute to talk about the internship because I think a lot of questions are coming on the internship. See, the way the program is designed, we don't really have a specific time period, like the internship will happen in May or a June. Once all of you have attended the 3 sessions, right, which will happen between now and April, we will actually be looking at all the folks who have registered, who have attended all the sessions, and we'll also look at, the background and the streams that they come from. And then based on that, we will actually shortlist few of you for an internship. And we are very flexible. If you are a commerce graduate, the internship will be catered accordingly. If you are an engineering student, if you are a design student. So the good thing is we have opportunities for everyone, irrespective of the background you come from. Unfortunately, if you're a doctor or if you're somebody, who is a scientist in making, Myntra will not be in a position to offer you that internship. But apart from that, everything is on the offer. So once all the 3 sessions are done, sometime around April, we'll look at a list of all of you have attended all the sessions and shortlist some of you to do internships. And the second thing is those of you don't get internships for variety of reasons, we will select a bunch of you to come to Myntra office and spend a day to just see how we bring fashion to life, right? So that's also an opportunity. Hopefully, that answers a lot of your queries. Internship duration will depend on your background stream, and the timelines will also depend on the college you're coming from. So that way, we're pretty relaxed about it. If you can only have a 3 months internship, we will cater and curate the internship around that. So the timelines and the tenure is flexible. Okay. Yes, the next session is being planned for somewhere around third week of March. We will be able to confirm a date by next week. And then the third and the final session for the first cohort will be in the month of April. So we will be able to give you that. Will there be any exam? No, there is no technical examination for internships. Once you have applied for it, we will look at the shortlist criteria and maybe just one round of an interview or a conversation with the HR team of Myntra, which we do for any and every kind of internship. So I think that will be fairly simple. How will you be selected for internship? Like I said, there'll be one conversation with the HR team and along with somebody from business just to do a basic screening and check. And it will depend on the background of your, graduation. Yes, all our internships, irrespective of whether you come through ShE-sparks, whether you come from our formal, internships, there's always an opportunity to be converted into full time. I mean, that is in Myntra's DNA and philosophy that all our internships, right, have an intent for full time conversion. What skills? Variety of skills. I think some of the life skills Soma and I spoke about. Apart from that, when you come for internship, the right attitude, willingness to learn, and doing a good job of the project that is given to you. I think very simple. Internships are predominantly for graduate students, but it again depends, right? If you have somebody who is a postgraduate, depending on the interest and the folks who apply, we are open for it. Okay. Anything more on what kind of internships? Like I said, it all depends on the registration. We have opportunities, whether you're engineering student, commerce student, design student, we will be able to create opportunities for everyone. and the day in life of Myntra, because I don't want anybody and everybody on the call to think that everybody who registers, I'm very pleased we have 1,000+ of you, joining the session, but I hope all of you will appreciate we may not have 1,000 internships, but we'll ensure that we continue to have more of these opportunities through our ShE-commerce community so that we're able to touch the lives of as many students and working professionals as possible.
I think, Hema, I know a lot of the questions are on internships. I think you've answered most of them. Uh, they would also like to know that what is the criteria, because we do have 1,000+ of them and more who will be applying. So they wanted a little bit, more insight on will there be interviews and like
I just mentioned that, Pooja. So I think there will definitely be one round of conversation, depending on the background they come from, with the HR team and the business team, right? Which we do for all internships. See, for us, this is an opportunity to get more talent to work for us. But internships is something that the way we look at hiring from campuses is pretty much the same. We just want to ensure that we do a sense check of the background they come from, what they bring to the table. And while I will not assess you on that, but I will definitely want to expect that everything that Soma and I spoke about, we are able to see you demonstrate in the conversation.
Yeah. Thank you so much. So I think, Soma, I have a couple of, maybe we'll take a question or two for you with you as well. So I think a lot of them said that, okay, yes, we may not be ready for internship, or we may be getting ready for internship, but we are not getting the internship. So what to prepare and how to prepare?
Yeah. So one thing I said was networking, right? Shamelessly network. If your parents, relatives, friends, parents, their relatives, their friends, anyone you know, make sure they know you're looking for an internship, and make sure they know what kind of an internship you would like to have, and build a pitch which sets you apart from other kids, right? So that's what I'm seeing. Like, I'm part of many HR WhatsApp groups and forums, and I'm seeing a lot of calls for internships. I know the market is tough. So A, don't be disappointed. Be shameless and apply for through whatever network you may have. Ping people on LinkedIn and try to get connected. Um, if your skills are such that you can get on to GitHub or Quora or some other place and try to start doing projects which give you some kind of practical experience, do that. Don't waste your time waiting for a formal internship. Work for NGOs. They always need people. Work in the social sector. Uh, get some experience under your belt, right? So I know it seems very, very unfair that why, if the company is not offering me internship and then it's expecting me to have experience when I'm coming in as a fresher. Unfortunately, that is how it is, right? So you have to do your best in getting experience under your belt. Doesn't have to be a big brand always, doesn't have to be a formal thing in your area of study. Please find any ways and means of doing a project in getting out there, working in an organization of some sort.
Maybe just one more question. So, in the interest of time, I know a lot of them have many more questions. So, for someone aspiring, and the same as for you as well, for someone who's aspiring to build a career in e-commerce, what are some of the practical projects or experiences that would make a candidate stand out in the hiring process? And we have this question from Sandhya.
I'm going to let Hema answer that.
Okay. I have actually worked outside of e-commerce also. So I think it's in e-commerce, I'll tell you what are the behaviors or skills which actually are slightly different from the other industries, right? The speed. And I have worked, like I said, in banks, I have worked in FMCG, and I have worked in Myntra, right? The concept to execution, okay, the speed at which we do or deliver is unparalleled. Okay, if I had not worked in Myntra, I would have never imagined, right? But I'm assuming all of you shop in Myntra. We have started 30 minutes delivery, which we call M now. You'll be surprised to know that of course, there's a supply chain, it has to come. There's a tech solve, then you have selection and design for fashion, dark stores, everything that you can think of. We turned it around in a month. Okay, it is not, it is unheard of, right? Of course, we started small. We started with one pin code. Then we have our learnings. We learn, we fail fast. We again build ourselves again. That's the speed, right? So anybody who wants to work not only in Myntra, in any e-commerce organization, be prepared to be agile, be prepared to deal with the scale and speed unheard of, and be bold and audacious, right? That's something that Myntra stands for. And we are okay for anybody to come, but you have to be very experimentative, right? We don't take no for an answer in the company. Okay, this can't happen because of XYZ. We actually start thinking of how can we make it happen. So I think some of these things you will really have to incorporate in the way you think and the way you answer in any interview process, right? Make it happen, aim high, speed, agility. These are the things, and attitude. I think that goes irrespective of whichever company you apply. You need to have the right attitude to learn, to grow, and to be a part of the organization and just the value system of the company. But yes, if one thing I have to tell you, speed. We deliver and we think at the same time. Yeah, so that's pretty much it. Demonstrate that in an interview, you'll be hired.
Thank you. Thank you very much. So the questions that we are taking here are related to the ShE-sparks program. I know a lot of you have more suggestions or questions on the way Myntra business is. So unfortunately, we will not be able to take those questions in this session. Soma, a lot of these students are requesting for the presentation. So I think what we'll do is we'll create a synopsis for you and then share on the group. We have shared a couple of links right here. One is the attendance form. We will just hold on for a second. We'll just repost the links once again. One is the attendance form. Kindly do fill up your attendance so that it marks your attendance for session 1, because like Hema said, you need to be attending all the 3 sessions to be eligible to apply for the day in the life at Myntra and for the internship. Secondly, there's a Telegram group, so all further updates will be happening there. We will also be in a couple of days, give us a couple of days, we'll maybe create a synopsis of Soma's session here and then share it with you. So that is one. And also, before ending the session, we would like a feedback from you. So if you could have the last poll questions, please, Farisha. So just kindly rate the session on a scale to 1 to 5. And how confident do you feel about transitioning into the corporate job?
I think when people are still filling the poll, I think Hema and Soma have added some real wonderful thoughts to the entire process. And Hema, I kind of resonate with your words of the speed, because the speed at which you work, the same speed our carts are filled. And that is one of the biggest things I must say about Myntra, that probably even when the session is on, there must be something getting filled in the carts. And that's the speed at which Myntra works.
Thank you. In fact, Ruchita, I was wanting you to actually invite you to close the session. So, like, over to you. A big thank you from my side to the panelists, to Soma, to Heba, and Sonora, and the entire team of Myntra. It has been amazing. And Soma, for bringing these amazing insights today. I wish I had that kind of guidance when I was making that transition, but we're lucky to have these sessions like this where we can interact with leaders like you. And a big thank you to the entire community who's joined us today. You were a very enthusiastic bunch, and I'm pretty sure all of you will go places. A big, big thank you from us, the Aspire for Her team, and over to you, Ruchita.
I'm just going to take a minute and thank our wonderful speakers here today. And of course, Myntra. I thought that, at Aspire for Her, we definitely talk about speed, but another partner of ours who really works on speed is Myntra, almost at what we are doing. We definitely have a vision and mission of 1 million women impacting in the workforce. And I think Myntra also very strongly resonates with it. Every time there's a new initiative, there is something where we are looking at either at returnees or at college girls. And I strongly feel that if women are the front end for everything that's happening in e-commerce, right? They know exactly the psyche that needs to come when it comes
to purchasing, shopping, in terms of looking at the products, then why not at the back end? I think you can change the entire ecosystem of the way things are designed. And I'm sure e-commerce is just going to be flying high. So we definitely need more and more women at the back end. Thank you so much. All the best to everyone. Do apply. And I would say that we are hoping to see a few of you at the Myntra office very soon. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Bye-bye. Have a good
Bye.
Bye-bye.